I'm here with Simone Jardim, originally from Brazil, now lives in Naples, Florida. She moved to the United States to pursue Division I college tennis, where she became a two-time All-American at Fresno State University. She then became an assistant coach at Fresno State and William & Mary, and eventually served as the head coach at Michigan State University from 2009 to 2016. After she found pickleball, she went pro full-time in 2016 and went on to become a two-time Triple Crown winner at the US Open, winning gold medals in every pro division at the 3 pickleball majors, and becoming one of the most decorated pros of all time. She's been called by many to be the greatest female player of all time and the female player with the largest impact on getting the sport to where it is today. Thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Wow, okay, thank you.
So pickleball is, since pickleball's really took its place in the spotlight on a national and now global level, you were really the first female player to be called the greatest of all time. Have you seen this as a stressful responsibility or an opportunity to use your influence to do huge things?
Honestly, I think for me it actually was, I never felt the pressure because being older, I think I had been through certain things with college tennis and my experience. That's where the age comes. Because I embraced that, I enjoyed it. It was almost like I was getting a second opportunity with sports. So it didn't really faze me, and I always enjoy being part of like a community. I don't think you can tell, but I'm pretty outgoing. So I just enjoy being part of a new community, and pickleball, of course, the growth of it, helping. Or a part of the process has just been a privilege.
What's been the most incredible, amazing thing that you've seen from the beginning of pickleball when you came into it till now? What's fascinated you the most by its growth?
I mean, the funniest thing, I don't know if it's fascinating, but the other day we were watching TV, and back in the day I would travel and with the backpack and the paddles and people like, oh, so you're a tennis player? And I was like, no. So like right. Pickleball. And I'll be like, what is pickleball? So you have to tell this whole story. And now, you watch TV and there is there's like 2-3 commercials, at least per hour, including pickleball.
Yep.
That is quite amazing. And now nobody, honestly, now you go from oh, I've seen you play, now you're being kind of recognized, where back in the day people had no clue what pickleball was. Right. So that has been definitely a huge change.
So something that really fascinates me also about you as a player is you smile a lot when you hit the ball. I'm sure you've been asked this before. It seems intentional. The same way Rafa Nadal or Maria Sharapova grunts incredibly loud. Is smiling something that's happened naturally for you, or is it a purposeful thing you've done to accompany your game?
So it's funny because I'm not smiling. It's my facial expressions always been very extra. So when I'm hitting, I'm actually exhaling, which then it opens my mouth. I mean, if you look at my face, I am always my face moves a lot, so it looks like I'm smiling, but in reality I'm exhaling and probably a little bit of grunting here and there, but my mouth is wide open. I can probably eat a few flies as I'm hitting.
You've had a very big role in developing young players, especially involved in the APP Tour. Even one of our good friends, Richard Livernese, he's spoken very highly of you. We hear you're building a facility, you're going to have pro players come and live with you and train them. Can you tell me a little bit more about the impact you're having now and what you're doing with up-and-coming players, and then what your vision is for the future?
So I'm a very kind of feeler, what I feel that I want to do, and alongside with my husband, we kind of we're emotional people. So we decided last year, we went to Nashville and we're gonna move there, and we went 5 times in the past year, 6 times now, and we're like, we like it here, we're gonna move here. And we've kind of been doing more and more coaching. Chad has been doing the next gen, and I've been doing professional coaching on the side for a while now, and I just enjoy it. I love what I do. I love competing still, but not as a big part of my everyday, I guess. So that's kind of where I'm at. I do what I enjoy, and I don't know if it's going to be something that I do for the next 5 years or whatever time, but right now is what I'm enjoying doing, and I believe that if I'm not enjoying doing something, then what's the point of doing it? So that's why I really am having fun, and I mean, you know, Richard works hard, and that's all you know a coach can ask for.
Yeah. In addition to an incredible athlete, a champion, a steward of the sport, you know, a mentor of young players, you're also seen as a coach. You're seen as even a player's coach, and players have looked to you for advice, and we see incredible coaching videos on your social media. So I'm curious, it's sort of a three-part question I have for you, but what would you say is the number one biggest thing people need to do to go from beginner to 3.0, 3.0 to 4.0, and then 4.0 to 5.0 plus?
So, I mean, the 3.0 to me is the, I guess, the easiest path. And honestly, the more you play, it doesn't take very much development to get there, because the beauty about pickleball, it's like there's a two-edged sword there, is that you can go out and play, and you get a lot of repetition every time you go play. So it's just a ton, right? And I think like the more you play, it's the game of pickleball is easy to get better to that certain level. It's complicated to master it, right? To really get good. So in that sense, because you can get so much repetition, you can improve quickly. However, it gets to a point where that's not just good enough.
Right.
And to me, in what I've seen and just being involved with sports and coaching my whole life, is that you need to develop new shots in order to improve. Let's say you're talking about getting to that 3.5. Well, 3.5, you need to improve your technique to get better shots. If you don't have spin, add spin, whatever that is, a slice or a top spin. So that way that will help in the long run. And you know, there are certain things that you need to do repetition in a drill session versus just going out and playing.
Right.
That's just not enough anymore. And then when you get to the higher levels, people ask like, oh, how do you become a pro? Well, that has more intricacies than you can actually. I think like if you play against pros, sometimes like, well, wow, they knew that I was going to do that, or there's like anticipation, right? Anticipation, shot selection, all of those things I think come from people sometimes don't spend enough time studying the game. So what does that mean? Like especially in the beginning, early in my career, I watch a lot of film. I watch a lot of matches. I watch especially the ones that I lost. I lost because I did something. Felt like I could do something better or something wrong. So that's a learning tool that it's underutilized, and I think that's where people need to be able to watch and learn from their losses. You don't really learn from wins, but you learn from your losses, just because that exposes some of your weaknesses.
So year by year, pickleball is changing dramatically. The types of players, their shots, the technology, the brands, the companies. I'm curious from your perspective, someone that's been involved for a long, long time, what is an aspect of pickleball that will not change, that will be here forever?
I think that honestly is the fact that, and again, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like the community, the sense of community, I think pickleball, it brings that because of the proximity. I think it's unique to other sports because you're so close and loud, because the noise of the pickleball itself is loud. I think it's that laughter. It's something, funny things happen in the pickleball court. But I think that sense of community that will never go away. I think it can get, I don't know the percentage of players, but I'm pretty sure that is a very small percentage of players that plays at a very competitive level.
Sure.
So the amateur numbers are way higher, and the fun, I mean, honestly, I can. People have told me that it changed their lives for the better, but because of that sense of community, having something that you can go and exercise, being outside, I can go on and on
Yeah.
about that.
I have a fun, more relaxed question. I heard you have 5 dogs, and I heard these dogs have had a great impact on your life. So I'd love to hear about that impact.
Well, right now I feel like the poor dogs, they've been suffering because we're traveling so much, and we're in the process of moving. So, but for me, it's very funny, but I am 44, and during COVID, I had 2 dogs and 2 kids, and my husband and I were like, okay, well, I'm not having a child at 40, so we got a dog. And then later on, I kind of got to a point, I was like, maybe I want another kid. That was like later, it was like 42. So I got another dog. And then again, I was like, okay, 4 dogs later. I was like,
Wow.
I still feel like having a kid. Well, now I'm too old, so I got a 5th dog, and we're done.
Wow, wow.
2 kids, 5 dogs. I think I'm okay with that.
It's a good ratio.
Yeah, but they are like, they're a pack, and they are great, and it's definitely. I'm an animal lover.
Yeah.
Like now in Tennessee, we have cats there, so we'll see. There's
Oh.
cats, but like wild cats. But they are like, no, they are outside cats. But we fed them, and now when we move with the dogs, we're gonna have cats, dogs.
Wow.
Who knows?
So I normally finish interviews with pros asking a simple question of, why do you love pickleball? But honestly, you've answered that in 10 different ways already. So I want to pivot. It's not often you get to sit down with a legend, which is what you are. But I want to get into that because, yes, Simone is a legend. You'll always be a legend. But I want to ask you about, what do you want the legend of Simone to be? What impact and how do you want to be remembered in the pickleball world?
I think I want to be I think in life in general, pickleball doesn't change the same as in my tennis career and my tennis coaching career. Somebody who has touched somebody's life, has helped somebody in some way, some form, that I had an impact. Not just making somebody be a better pickleball player, but somebody get through something, tough moment in their lives, or made somebody's day. I know that sometimes that we don't, as pickleball pros, don't think about saying hi to somebody, just giving them the day and time. It makes their day, and that is everything to me, and that's what I want to be remembered as, someone who cared.
That you will. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it, Simone.